welcome back. It's so good to see you. So, today we're going to be talking about what I have been watching for the month of January. And I think I've watched only shows, no movies. Yeah, shows. So, let's get into it. As usual, I'm going to be looking over here because this is where my notes are. Because without my notes, I'd be like, what did I watch? What was that show about? I'd be all over the place. I'm going to be giving you the Rotten Tomatoes score, the audience score, and then I'm going to tell you what I think about the show. So I think everything was actually good. I don't think there are any fails this month, so that's cool. Okay, so the first thing that I watched is on Netflix, and it was Squid Game 2. Rotten Tomatoes score gave it an 83%. Audience score gave it a 63%. I give it a 100%. Oh my god. So, okay, it stars like a billion people, and I'm not even going to attempt to say any of their names, because if you didn't know, Squid Game, I believe it's in Korean, maybe? I don't know. But I watch it dubbed. I know, but I'm a very slow reader. I'm like a super slow reader, so I won't be able to read what they say as quickly as they say it, But it does star my new favorite character. What's his name? Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting over being sick again, so just making sure it's recording. I don't know his real name, but he goes by Top. It's player 230 Thanos. Oh my gosh, you love to hate this character. Okay. So if you don't know what Squid Game is, how could you not know, right? But like, I guess 3 years ago, maybe 4, I don't know, the original Squid Game came out, and this is season 2. Squid Game, it's basically the same as season 1, okay, where a bunch of, I don't want to say poor people, but people who are down on their luck, who are in debt, they are just strapped for cash. They get recruited or selected to be part of these games called the Squid Games, but it's very top secret. No one knows where these games are held, who runs the games, and you don't know anything about anyone. But there are hundreds of people that volunteer for these games and are basically kidnapped and drugged to be taken to the location to play the games. And they're just children's games, like red light, green light, and I can't think of the name of the other ones, but the most famous game is the red light, green light. And you play the games, and whoever ends up winning the games gets lots and lots of money, like millions of dollars, okay? So this is season 2. The original guy, the winner from season 1, he won all the money, but he's like, these games are totally messed up, and I need to end the games. So the whole first, I feel like the first 2 or 3 episodes is him just trying to find the subway guy who is the recruiter, Well, obviously he finds the guy, and he somehow convinces them to allow him to play the games again. So it's just about him playing the games and trying to stop it. And he tries to tell all the people who are playing this game, because they're playing this game for the first time ever. He's like, I've played these games before. You don't want to play them. we must stop this, and if you want to see how money hungry people are, watch Squid Games. Because I feel like it's 100% accurate, like it would actually go down this way. But anyway, it's just about that. And my favorite player is 230, Thanos. He's funny, but he's a jerk, and you love to hate him. But he is like, imagine playing these games, okay? And if you do not win the game, you die. The stakes are deadly in these games. And they learn this very quickly. But this man is playing the games. Hi. He's taking he was wearing this necklace that is filled with some type of pill, drugs, and he's high the whole time. the whole time. But anyway, so this is season 2. There is going to be a season 3. I believe it comes out this summer. It's going to be the final season. Me and my daughter, we cannot wait. We did take an entire day and binged the whole season because it's so good. So good. And I do want to let you know, if you have not watched season 2, you're going to be mad. You're going to be mad because I was mad. My daughter was mad. It's because it literally cuts off in the middle of a scene. In the middle of a scene. It just... Squid Game. What? It's worth it though. But if you really want to see it and you're like, I'm not sure about it, wait. I would wait to watch it until season 3 drops. That way you can binge the whole series because you're not gonna want to stop, Okay. Anyway, the next thing that I watched is another show on Netflix. I feel like there's a lot of Netflix things here. At least 3. But yeah, this is a show. It is I think it's a limited series. It could be open for another season. They left it open for another season. But I think it was just supposed to be a limited series. It is called American Primeval. And Rotten Tomatoes score gave it a 66. Audience score gave it an 88. I think that the 88 or low 90s would be more accurate. It stars Taylor Kitsch, which is the reason why I watched it, because this man is such a good actor, and it's like, I know no one else in this show. I only watched it because I saw him in the trailer, and I was like, because he only does good shows. And he doesn't do a lot of shows or movies or whatever, so when he does do something, it's like, it's going to be good. And then it also stars Betty Gilpin. I don't know her, but I know I've seen her in something else, but I don't know what. Okay. I was not looking forward to watching this show because it seemed like it would be very slow and boring and just ugh. But it's not. Okay, so it's set, let's see. Okay, it's about a mother and a son, and they are traveling into the American West during 1857, which is around about the Utah War era or whatever, because you have the Native Americans, you have American soldiers, and you also have the Mormon church, all in the same area, all at the same time in 1857. Yikes. Okay. Imagine being a woman with a child. It's 1857 and you're traveling alone through Utah. it's intense. Okay. So they're traveling alone. They are going to be with her husband, who I believe is somewhere in Utah. I don't know. But this woman is on the run. You find that out very quickly. She's on the run with her son. There is, I guess it's a warrant or something up for her arrest. I think they come from either New York or Massachusetts, something like that. And she's supposed to have a guide to help her go to a certain place or whatever. Well, her guide left without her because she was late, and this other person who was going to possibly guide her to this location, he was murdered, literally right in front of her. And so she's talking to, I don't remember where they were. It was somewhere in Utah or something. Fort Bridger. I don't know. Anyway, she talks to, like, I don't want to say mayor, but he's the owner of this fort. And she's like, I need a new guide. Help me, No one wants to help her. He tries to ask Taylor Kitsch. I don't know how you say his name. And he's all like, no, I ain't about that life. Because it's rough, Oh, also you have to go through mountains and stuff and, like, snow. It's awful. It kind of reminded me of, like, the Oregon Trail, except real and terrifying. It's just about her trying to get to her husband, and Taylor Kitsch, he says no, but eventually he ends up helping her anyway because it's kind of like a necessary type thing. And it's just about their journey, traveling to where she needs to go. But it's terrifying. It's terrifying because you are dealing with the Native Americans, but not just random Native Americans. It's different tribes, and these tribes, is that what they're called, tribes? I don't know. They're fighting. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Then you have the Mormons, which this is when, I can't think of his name. I know it's Joseph something. When he had moved to Utah. Did you know that the Mormons had their own little military? I don't think they do now, but they did back then. And back then, scary times. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the Mormon church or anything like that, but this is a historical fiction show, but it's based on real events, real stories, real places, real people. And I did read an article because I was like, how accurate is this? Because if this is accurate, this is totally effed. Native Americans, Mormons, American government, it's all effed. Okay. So I read an article and it's pretty accurate. Mormons are not happy about it, and they're saying this is not accurate. But there's evidence to back it up, so I don't know. I don't want to offend anyone. I just think that life back then was very, very hard. People were just trying to survive, and it was really rough. And this show shows you, it is a really good show, though. Really good. I didn't want to watch it, but I got sucked in really quickly, and then I couldn't stop watching it. I think there's only 6 episodes, though. It was really, really good, though. I highly recommend that, especially if you are into history, that kind of thing. Okay, the next thing that I watched, oh no, this isn't a show, it's a movie. So there's at least one movie in here. This is a movie that I watched on HBO Max. It is called Juror number 2. Rotten Tomato score gave it a 92. Audience score gave it a 91. I agree. It was really good. It stars Nicholas Hoult, which is the reason that I watched it, because I absolutely love anything that he's in. And then Toni Collette, amazing actress. Okay, so Nicholas Hoult is he's a husband. His wife is very pregnant, and he has to report for jury duty or jury duty selection. And he doesn't want to go because his wife is super pregnant. And when he gets there, it's like a very big profile case, I guess. It's a murder case of a woman that was murdered by her abusive boyfriend or fiance, something like that. He tries to get out of the jury duty thing, but they're like, nah, you're good, and he's like, well, but my wife, she's a high-risk pregnancy. And they're like, do you work? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, what do you work? And he's basically like 8 to 5 or whatever, or 9 to 6, something like that. And they're like, okay, well, that's the same time that we're going to be doing our trial, so you're not getting out of this, So he's selected and upset about it, but whatever. So he's at this trial listening to certain things, and there's an issue because he knows something about this case personally. This woman was at a bar with her fiance or whatever. There were lots of witnesses there. Somebody recorded a fight that they had on their cell phone. The woman and the husband got into a fight, and she left. She's like, I'm going home, I don't need you, and there's a history between this couple of physical violence. And then she ends up at the bottom of like this bridge. Like, they're thinking that he beat her and then threw her over the bridge, and the fall killed her or something. I don't know. She ends up dead. Well, Nicholas Hoult, juror number 2, he knows something. He was actually there at the bar that night. And he could say, hey, I'm associated with this case, so let me off the jury. But he can't do that because he may or may not have been involved with something that occurred with the woman that died. So he doesn't want to get off the jury because he needs to know what's going on. But he also doesn't want to be on the jury because it's very uncomfortable for him. And he knows something about the abusive boyfriend that could change how the case or how the trial goes. It is very like, what? It's so, I don't want to give anything away. But the movie went very quickly for me because I was just so into it. Like, what is going to happen here. What is going to happen? Super, super good. Okay. The next thing that I watched is a show. This was on Netflix, and I believe it is a limited series, but I did look it up, and it is open. The creator of the show is open to writing a season 2, something like that. So technically it wasn't left open for season 2, but they could make a season 2. Anyway, sorry. It is called No Good Deed, and it stars Lisa Kudrow, Ray Romano, Dennis Leary, Luke Wilson. Like, there are so many people, big name people in this show. Rotten Tomatoes score gave it a 79. Audience score gave it a 78. I would probably give it like an 85, something like that. Because it's not like, oh my god, it's so good, but it is good. It's good. Like, I do recommend it. But am I upset if there's no season 2? No, because it was good enough to be a one and done type thing. Okay, Lisa Kudrow, Phoebe, come on, Ray Romano, Ray Barone. Phoebe and Ray are married. Like, what? Because when I see Lisa Kudrow, she is forever Phoebe. It does not matter what she does, what she's in. No, it's Phoebe. Sorry. Sorry, Lisa Kudrow. You're forever Phoebe, and Ray Romano is forever. Everybody loves Raymond. Okay. So Lisa Kudrow and Ray Romano are married, and they are trying to sell their picture perfect LA home, which seems like it would be super easy, right? They had to wait a specific time frame to sell their home because their son died in it. And apparently, if you wait a certain amount of time, like 3 years or something, you don't have to report that on the selling profile or something. I don't know. Their family also has secrets that they are trying to, I don't want to say cover up, but not disclose or talk about ever. But you learn, that their son died in this house. Someone broke into the house, and an intruder, I guess the family was home or something, when an intruder shot their son and he died. So they want to sell their house because they need the money, but they don't want to sell the house because it's their house. It's the house that their family grew up in, or that they raised their family in, and this is the last place their son was, so it's kind of a hard situation. But like I said, this picture perfect house, picture perfect family, they have secrets, and nothing is as it seems. So you find out stuff about them, and then there are several couples that are looking at the house, and you get to see their lives as well. It sounds boring. To me, it sounds boring. Like, wow, people are trying to sell their house and other people are trying to buy it. Real exciting stuff, right? But it actually is. It's really good. And I think each episode is like 35 minutes long or something. It's very short. But each episode leaves you like hanging, and you're like, what? So you have to watch the next episode. I love shows like that. It's really, really good. You do find out all the secrets, I guess. and a lot of them are like jaw dropping. Like, what? What? Anyway, okay. So the next thing that I watched, I can't remember if this is a movie or a show. I feel like it's a show, but maybe it was just a really long movie. I don't know. But it was on Netflix, and it is called The 6888. Rotten Tomato score gave it a 52%. I do not agree with that. Audience score gave it a 73. That's better, but I would give it somewhere in the 80s. You know, it stars a billion people. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. There's so many people. So many people. But the reason that I watch it is because it stars Kerry Washington, and she does a fantastic job in this movie. So it is inspired by a true story by the first and only, I'm reading it word for word because I don't want to mess up the name of it, but it is the first and only Women's Army Corps unit of color to serve overseas in World War II. Okay, so this is during World War II. I didn't even know there was a Women's Army Corps. And they also had units of color, so I guess I don't know if it was just for black women or if it was just all color, you know, like Mexicans and Indians or Native, like I don't know, it just says unit of color, and in the movie all it was black women, so I don't know. But anyway, Women's Army Corps, I didn't know that was a thing. No women in I guess the US military went overseas in World War II, except for this one unit. And I don't know anything about the Army or their terminology or anything, but I would assume it's like a battalion leader or something was Kerry Washington. She was like the head of this unit. And there was this training. They trained women and the women of color. But I guess back in World War II there was segregation. Okay. There was lots of training and stuff like that, but they never let them really do anything. And Kerry Washington was like, look, we know that our boys need help over there. Please send us overseas, you know. And she just kept getting told, no, 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 no. Lots of racism, sexism, just awful. Okay, because think about it. It's the 40s. You're a woman and you're black. Just awful treatment, right? So while she was dealing with the sexism and the racism and stuff, they wanted to get rid of her because she was, I guess, too noisy, annoying, I don't know. But they were like, you know what, yeah, why don't you go here? We're going to send you on a mission overseas. And it's like, what? Because no women have ever been overseas, you know. And they're like, but we're going to keep this off the books. We're not going to tell anyone. So good luck with that. So her and her unit go overseas, and she reports for duty, like, well, what do we do? How can we help? And they're like, yeah, so nobody seems to be getting their mail because there's a war going on. So we have these like 50 airplane hangars full of mail. Figure it out. You have 6 months. We know you're useless and you can't do it. So have fun. And I can't wait to see you walk back home to America with your tail between your legs because you're an idiot. It's basically what happened. And she was like, you want us to deliver mail? Okay, we'll do it. And it sounds stupid and boring. It sounds so dumb. But the stuff that these women went through and the way that they were able to tackle such an impossible task, because so many people tried to do this and whatever. So it was, I guess, crap degrading work. But Kerry Washington's character was like, look, all the soldiers, they need a boost of morale. No one has heard from anyone from home. Their letters aren't being delivered, things like this. And we got to get this done. And the stuff that these women did, because like a lot of the letters were just addressed to like Bubba, or they didn't have, or there was blood covering things, like the things that these women did to find out who these specific letters are supposed to go to, where they were coming from, where they need to go. It is ridiculous, and they were so smart. And the only reason that this unit was even able to go is because a woman stood in front of the White House for days. It was cold, it was raining, whatever. And then the first lady, I can't remember which one it was, maybe one of the Eisenhower, I don't know. She was like, why is this woman standing out there, And the woman was like, look, my son went to war 3 years ago and I have not heard from him since. Every letter that I write is being returned back to me. And, where is my son? What's going on? And because that woman did that, it was like a domino effect, and they finally were able to boost the morale because of, that woman standing there. People were finally able to get their mail. It sounds stupid and boring. Like, wow, they delivered mail. Good job. You don't understand. You don't understand what they had to go through. And what's sad about it is when the war was over, when they were done, these women came home and they were treated worse than ever before. And no one believed them. They were like, first of all, women aren't in the army. Second of all, no women went overseas. None of this happened. You guys are crazy. And they were never really recognized. And no one believed them or anything like that. Like, just the stuff that they had to go through. But then at the end, it showed like footage of Michelle Obama, and she actually honored them, which I think is fantastic. This movie like actually did make me cry. Like, it was so good, because it was hard and just like I was angry, but it is, as hard as it was and how angry it made me and just upset, it really is a feel-good movie. And I think it was made by Tyler Perry. I usually don't like Tyler Perry movies, like I've watched a few of them and some of them are good, but most of them I'm just like, meh. This one was really good. This is probably one of my favorites that he has ever done. Very, very good. Okay, the next thing that I watched is a show, and this was on Peacock. I did not want to watch it. it looked stupid and boring and not my kind of show. But my mother-in-law was like, you have to watch this show. So I did. It is called The Day of the Jackal. And Rotten Tomatoes score gave it 84%. Audience score gave it a 76%. It stars Eddie Redmayne. I think that's how you say his name. I love him. He is such a good actor. But you would never think of him as a badass. Never. He's so cool. So this show, The Day of the Jackal, is about an assassin, Eddie Redmayne. And can you just, like, what? This guy is so not assassin material, okay? But he's a great actor, and he makes you believe it. It's like, whoa, he's so cool. He's badass, right? But he's an assassin, so he kills people for a living. So it's about this assassin and a British intelligent agent. It's kind of like they are playing a game of Catch Me If You Can type thing, you know? An assassin is supposed to be a bad guy, but the Jackal, that's his code name or whatever, the Jackal, he's a good guy. He's just a good guy trying to do his job just like everybody else, okay? And he's so badass while he does it. He's so smart and just super cool. Super cool. I never thought I would say that about Eddie Redmayne ever. But he's so cool. Apparently this is like a remake, like The Day of the Jackal. This has been a thing that's been going on for like decades. I've never heard of it, but so obviously it's like a remake, you know. It's had movies, shows, all that kind of thing for like decades, and this is just the new version of it, I guess. It's just really good. It's really good. There's no other way to describe the show. And I know it sounds stupid, like I don't want to say he's a super spy, because that's not really what he is. He's an assassin. He gets paid to just kill whoever, you know. And that's basically it. But you get to see his home life, you know, and who he is. He does some very shocking things. But I don't know. It's just, I couldn't stop watching it. I didn't want to watch it because it looked boring, because I'm not into the whole assassin or super spy type. I'm not into those kind of things. But my mother-in-law was like, you have to watch the show. We got to talk about it. I'm glad she recommended it to me, because it was so good. So good. So, yeah. I highly recommend it, because I didn't even know what I was getting into, and then I just could not look away. It was just amazing. But anyway, so those are all the things that I watched for the month of January. I recommend every single thing. Everything. But probably my favorite thing that I watched was Squid Game 2. I'm just a huge Squid Game fan. I absolutely love it. And my kids, there's Squid Game on Roblox, and there's Squid Game on Fortnite. And it's based off of the show. They play the same games that are in the show. And it's intense. Intense. It's like, oh my god. It's really good. Really good. Anyway, but yeah, so that's all the stuff that I watched for this month. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.